So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's show time.
Alrighty, we have an insane president committing war crimes and nobody's stopping him. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about some pet peeves, how your New Year's was, and Mickey Rourke. Oh my God, we got to talk about him. So much more on today's Karel Cast.
Now it's show time.
Alright, it is the Karel Cast. I am Karel. Happy January 5th, the day before treason was committed and nobody really cared. I am so glad you are joining me. I am sorry I am 11 minutes late. Some of you may or may not know that over the last 2 weeks, the shows have all been recorded. Every show for the last 2 weeks was recorded. I was in the chat room every so often, but I took the 2 weeks to have a holiday. And I hope you had a joyous Christmas and New Year as well, although the world is certainly fighting you in that. We're going to talk a lot about that. But before we get to Trump and the insanity and all that, I just want to say I really learned over this holiday that I love you. I appreciate you. I am so glad to be here with you. And oh my God, what an ordeal. I haven't set the studio up for 2 weeks. Everything fought me because over the 2 weeks, I changed the home folder on my MacBook Pro. I changed the name of it to match the computer name. So my Wirecast program was looking for documents in places. Also, I changed the scrolls at the bottom of the screen. You're now going to see there it is, little pop-up on the side, me and Ember. I hope you like them. Let me know if they're long enough for you to be able to read. I'll need your input on that. And I got my ears re-pierced. I don't know if you can see, but Steve Cabral even said I'm starting to look like myself again, and I'm starting to feel like myself again. It's going to be a different new year here on the Karel Cast, and I hope it's going to be a different new year for you. I'm going back to being me. Somehow, I don't need to do anything in 2026 but remember who Karel was and is and can be again. I've been feeling very defeated for about 8 years. No major radio station, but who needs them? The Academy Awards are going to YouTube. You know, so this show is what I make it. My life is what I make it, but no one's going to make it for me. The same for you. And I know that it can feel horrifying. You know, yesterday I started writing a song, But He's Just One Man, because I am amazed at what Donald Trump did in Venezuela, and no one stopped him. I wish another country would do for us what we did for Venezuela. I really wish NATO would swoop in and abduct Donald Trump and try him for war crimes. He is a war criminal now. He is murdering people on boats, and now he has colonized a country, which is what we've done. We just bought Venezuela. Why? Because he owns interest in the oil companies there. That's why. This has nothing to do with Maduro. He doesn't care about drugs. He pardoned a drug lord. So he doesn't care about drugs. He cares about the money he can make off the oil that Venezuela has. And that's all this is about. It is illegal. It is a war crime. Congress should impeach or be removed. Any congressperson that doesn't think that this rises to an impeachable offense should get the fuck out of Congress. Okay, so we are in an incredibly strange time. We really, truly are. And by the way, if I make mistakes today with the show, it's going to be because I have the new show format. I've got the new things and the new breaks. The breaks are shorter. The intros are shorter. All kinds of stuff. So we're rolling forward here on the Karel Cast. To everyone in the chat room, Rachel Capper, Happy New Year. Darren Holmquist, Babetta, welcome back. Stephen Haynes, welcome. In the very near future, we are going to find a way to have your chat messages up on the screen. Oh yeah, baby. We're going big. We're going big here at the Karel Cast. So we're going to find a way in the future. Can't do it today, but in the future, we're going to find a way to have your chat up on the stream. I tried to explore Riverside. This is a webcasting thing that will do it all for me. it won't connect to my YouTube, and they don't know why. So I just signed up for it, and already I'm in tech support. So I'm like, no, let's just do this the way that we've been doing it for now. Change to Riverside in the future. So yes, welcome to everybody in the chat room. I am so glad. Look out Canada, look out Cuba. Well, no, look out Greenland. You know, that would be another undeclared act of war should he go to and take over Greenland, which he wants to do. Who else? Ray Renati is in the chat room. Happy New Year to you as well. NorCal Echo Dad. Morning, Karel. Excited you're live. Been a fan of yours since I was 10. Holy shit, make me feel old. My parents put on KGO. My favorite memory, you said Bush needed coal in his stockings. And I laughed 20 years later, here I am. Well, welcome, Nor.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need
I don't know what it's
to
doing.
know.
I didn't do
Now
this.
it's showtime.
This is bad. Okay, I don't know what this is doing. This is bad. This is not the video that I have here, so I don't know why it just looped back to that. I told you there's going to be problems today. And so yeah, we're experiencing it. All right, that was a problem. I don't know what we're going to do about that. It wasn't supposed to loop like that. And now we're back in a 5-minute segment, which we shouldn't be. You know, I don't know what's going on. So we'll just keep doing the show until we can't. But welcome, NorCal Echo Dad. I don't know if this is a 5-minute. Oh, wait, that's the old. This is what the actual hell just happened. It is now playing something that it should not be playing. But you know what? We'll let it do it. We'll just let it go. This is not even the file that. Oh my God! Oh my God!
Showtime is
oh my
here.
God!
No time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show.
Okay.
Let's
well.
give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
Ladies and gentlemen, aliens have taken over my show. I don't know what the computer is doing. It is playing files it shouldn't be. It is doing things it should not do. We will get through this together, you and I. I don't know how, but we will. Okay. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happened. We're going to try to get through this. It's showing two different backgrounds. It's a background it shouldn't be showing. I have no idea. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. You see the background that you're seeing now? It is not on my computer. Anywhere. So I don't. So the file that you're seeing now is not even on my computer. So I don't know what to do. I'll just keep doing the show. It's the first show of the new year, and of course, it's gonna be wackadoo. So here we go. Allegedly, there was supposed to be a new background. Allegedly, there was supposed to be new little things, and allegedly, it's 59 minutes long and wasn't supposed to loop or whatever or anything. So, yeah. I guess we could try to begin the show one more time. You want to do it one more time? You want to try it one more time from the top? We could try it. Let's see if it works.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
Okay, whatever's happened before this point did not happen. It was all in your imagination. I wasn't here. It's all a blur. Oh my God. All right, it is the Karel cast. I have no idea what's going to happen with the video. You all are just going to have to bear with it. This is the first show of the new year with the new logos on the side. It's supposed to just play all the way through. It didn't. It started itself all over again. But you know what? We're just going to get through it. By the way, I learned something interesting. You know why these caps on your pens have a hole in the end? Do you know why? You know why? In case a baby or a kid or you swallow them, you can breathe through them. Isn't that something? Okay. You know, I'm glad this happened because my blood pressure was already rising. You know, I tried to have a good holiday like you, and yet the assaults from Donald fucking Trump just all through the holiday. He couldn't even let us have a fucking holiday in peace, right? He had to just go and invade Venezuela and remove Maduro so he could take their oil and make millions of dollars. It is a war crime. I know that so many of you know it's a war crime. Congress allegedly this week is going to remove the power from him to do anything more, but a little late. It's an impeachable offense, as is tomorrow, January 6th. That was an impeachable offense. He still committed a crime just because, you know. So I tried during the holiday to get away, you know, just turn the noise down. And it worked in part. Okay, it did. And during the holidays, I got to remember the things that I love about this show. The cooking, the being out in the world, the traveling, the topics that aren't necessarily Donald Trump. I had a good time filming the 2 weeks that we did, these last 2 weeks, because I didn't do politics. And I had a great time doing it. And I know you are starting this year as weary of him as anybody. Okay, I know you are. Because I am. You know, I am starting this year weary. And we shouldn't be. We should feel renewed and optimistic. How many of you are optimistic for the new year? And I'm being serious here. How many of you out there, raise your hand, are optimistic about the new year? Most of you aren't. Everyone in my world is saying we can't do 3 more years of this. And I'm like, look, if we win the midterms, then we won't do 3 more years of this. He'll be a lame duck president. Now, we know that Venezuela happened because his name is all over the fucking Epstein files. Okay, we know this. We know that people were starting to really dig into the Epstein files, and if they do, they're going to find that he's a fucking child molester. Okay, so a statutory rapist. I mean, it's evident. It's clear as can be. He knew. He knew what was going on. He condoned it, and I believe he participated in it. And we were starting to get that information. So what does he do? He wags the dog. He goes and takes over a country that he needn't do. Maduro had a warrant out for his arrest for years. And why the United States? Why didn't the UK do this? Why didn't China do this? Why didn't any other country do this? Why us? And all you Venezuelans praising Donald Trump, yay, yay, Maduro's gone. You motherfuckers, you had all this time to get rid of Maduro yourself. Also, today it's being reported by Aaron Parnas that Trump will not back the opposition leader who just won the Nobel Peace Prize. I cannot pronounce her name properly. She just won the Nobel Peace Prize because she didn't turn it down. This is credible reporting. He has removed the president of Argentina, the opposition leader who is wildly popular, who would be the heir apparent, he doesn't want to support. Why? Because she would not turn down the Nobel Peace Prize and say that it should go to him. Now, I've seen some petty motherfuckers in my day. Okay, I have. But this guy takes the cake for petty. I mean, when they redo the dictionary and they put the term petty in there, they're going to put his photograph right next to it. Because he is as petty can be. He just really is. And so How can one start the year optimistically when we have this going on? Did you want to spend oh, I love that little logo, the new logo there, right there. Did you want to do this? Was this money that you wanted to spend as we can't afford SNAP benefits, we can't afford to pay down the national debt, people got to get 50-year mortgages.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because
start it
showtime is
over
here.
again.
So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that
Okay, that overlay is done. I don't know what's going on with it, but it's gone for the show. We're just going to do the show without any graphics, without any music, without any breaks. Sorry, I'm not going through it all over again. So I apologize for that. I'll get it fixed for tomorrow, I hope. So yeah, he's being so petty that he will not even let the opposition leader take charge because, guess what? She wouldn't give him the Peace Prize. You know, we all have our petty things. We all have our pet peeves, okay? Now, you know that I've done topics of pet peeves here on the show before. And in fact, just yesterday, a pet peeve happened. In fact, here, let's take a look at it. It's only 2 minutes long. Watch this. This is one of my pet peeves. Because Trump is being petty. So I've got a couple pet peeves that I want you to tell me if I'm being petty, okay? Am I being as petty as Donald Trump? Let's play the game. Are you as petty as Donald Trump? Here's one of my pet peeves that drives me mad. And there's Miss Ember. Hello. A lot of you on my show heard me talk about my pet peeves and how one of them is these big-ass cars that break the law and go over the sidewalk. Well, these people never fail to disappoint. Look at that. I mean, why does he need to be this far over the sidewalk with his big-ass truck and his big-ass tailgate? Why? This person didn't feel that need. There's another one down there that does. But I want to explain to you why this matters to me. My mother used to be in a wheelchair half the time. She was handicapped. And blocking sidewalks like that mean that people like her have to struggle to get by. And there's no need to do that. Now, I'm sorry that your big-ass truck is so big that it won't fit in the parking space. I'm sorry for you. I really am. But the fact is that doesn't give you the right to cover over the sidewalk. And it just shows how self-centered people in today's world are. They don't think about anybody else. They don't think about anyone that wants to use the sidewalk. They just think about themselves. And, you know, they don't care. This person didn't feel a need, see? This person doesn't feel a need. That person there does for some reason. That's not too bad, but still that's illegal. And then we have this person here that feels the need. And I just don't understand why. I don't get it. What's so hard about not blocking the sidewalk? I'll never understand. Self-centered. Okay, so you saw it. Am I as petty as Donald Trump? He's being petty. He will not recognize the opposition leader in Venezuela because she wouldn't give up the Peace Prize. So you just saw one of my pet peeves. Now, it's unfortunate that I can tell you the owner of that big black truck is a Trump supporter. Only a Trump supporter would drive such a monstrosity. Am I being that petty as Trump? And more importantly, you know, we have cops to stop people from doing what I just showed you. Technically, a cop could cite that person. Who do we have to stop Donald? He is one man. And this one man has managed to commit more war crimes in 13 months or 12 months than any other president in U.S. history. Pete Hegseth is guilty of murder. And why did the military follow his orders and invade Venezuela? Those are illegal orders. The generals, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion, every military person that followed an order to invade Venezuela should be tried. Oh, Karel, sorry. You know, if you followed Hitler's orders after the war, you went to jail. Same thing here. Why on earth would we not try the people that are following this? They're not his army. He is the commander-in-chief, but they are the United States Army. He is not the United States. Why do we treat him like he is the United States? He's not. No one should be following his orders. They're illegal orders. Was there congressional approval to go into Venezuela? No. Did the International World Court sanction Maduro being captured? No. And if he's all about capturing war criminals, Benjamin Netanyahu has been declared a war criminal by the International Court. There are arrest warrants for Benjamin Netanyahu and certain countries that he cannot step into, because if he does, he will be arrested, including Ireland. He will be arrested for war crimes. Same with George W. Bush. George W. Bush can't go to Ireland. They have convicted him of war crimes, and if he goes, he will be arrested. So, if you want to arrest a war criminal, instead of arresting a guy that traffics drugs, which you've pardoned somebody for, how about you arrest a guy committing genocide? How about that? How about that? So, and now you're going to be so petty that you won't arrest this yourself, basically. You won't recognize this leader because she wouldn't give you the Nobel that she rightfully won? This is where we are? Wow. Just wow. Just wow. So this is how we're starting the year. You know, this is how we're starting the year. What is your wish for the year? I'd love to see your comments down below. What is your wish for the year? My wish is that the Democrats take the House and Senate, create a lame duck president, clean up their own ranks, throw members out, expand the court somehow. The Congress could do it. You know, my hope is that sanity starts to come back, because if we keep going this way, we're not going to last 3 years. Either we'll get into a world war, because if he tries to take Greenland, you know, the EU, can you imagine the EU going to war with the United States? Can you imagine? But if he tries to take Greenland, you know, my sister today asked me, what if, you know, he tries to take Greenland? I go, well, if no one stops him, he'll take it. And she's like, why will no one stop him? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. You know, he is one man, one frail, sick old man taking 4 times the aspirin dose every day that he needs to. It does no benefit above 86 milligrams at all. So ignoring doctor's orders. I do not believe for a moment his heart is healthy. They reported on Air Force One that all he eats is McDonald's every day on Air Force One. That's what he eats. And he eats 3 things: a Big Mac, a filet of fish, and a cheeseburger. 3, plus fries. That's what this 79-year-old fuck eats, and he doesn't have the decency to drop dead of a heart attack. His hands are bruised from IVs going in them, not from aspirin. You don't bruise more if you're on 300 milligrams versus 80. It only has an effect up until 86 milligrams. Anything over that, it doesn't affect. So he's not bruising more because he's taking a higher dose. That's bullshit. I asked my cardiologist. He said that was bullshit. Dick Cheney's cardiologist has said it was bullshit. It's bullshit. He's sick. His heart is not good. He is demented. He has dementia. And you know how I know? Because he sundowns. when he rants on Truth Social at night, that's truly demented. The things he says are demented. And he says them after dark. He sundowns. So he holds it somewhat together during the day, and then at night, it's all bets are off. Which is why you barely see him at night, because he's daft. So what is your hope for 2026? Mine is sanity in my own life and in the country. And if the country moves towards more insanity, then it really is getting out. It really is. If the country continues to move in this insane way, provoking other nations to go to war, then I don't want to be here. Mexico, Canada, Ireland, Portugal, I don't care if I have to live poor in those countries. I mean that. If it continues to go the way by April or May, well, I said the midterms. If the midterms happen and Democrats don't win, then 2027 will see me in another country. And I mean that. Yes, he does sundown. Meredith in the chat room. He sundowns as a demented person does. Later in the day, he gets more batshit crazy. And that's called sundowning for those of you not familiar with the term. If you're sick, if you have the flu, you feel better in the day than you do at night. If you have dementia, your abilities are better during the day than they are at night. Any caregiver knows this. Nights are rough. They're long. Nights can be very long. So here we have this year ahead of us where we're supposed to be feeling renewed. We're supposed to be feeling joyous and looking ahead. I don't want to look into the future and see bleak. Do you? On this January 5th, do you want to look down the line of 2026 and see bleak? I don't. I want to see bigger earrings. And I want to see a tour, or at least a few live dates. I want to see my single, I Dance Because, which you all should be streaming. I want to see it get bigger. The video will be out in a week. I hope you like the video we're working on. I want to do more of that, and I'm going to. Donald Trump is no longer going to stop me from living my best life. He has for like a decade now. I've been so angry and so mad and so appalled and so like, how could we do this? Blah, blah, blah. That I've just haven't lived my best life. For 8 years here in Vegas, I have not lived my best life. I've lived a good life. Don't get me wrong. I've lived a great life. But it hasn't been my best life. And that's because every time I try to, just like you, he does something so fucktard stupid. And then the country reacts, and his followers, their ignorance is no longer going to infest my world. I know that I want unity in this country, but I don't want to be unified with MAGA. They are the stupidest, most ignorant fucks on the planet. They're irredeemably stupid. Well, Karel, that's not a way to talk about people that you want to get along with. They don't want to get along with me. I am a woke gay vegan. Okay? That is what I am. I want to start an Instagram account, The Woke Gay Vegan. I would rename this show The Woke Gay Vegan because it pisses people off. I am their worst fucking nightmare. I am a woke gay vegan with a show, with a following. I'm their worst nightmare, MAGA. I support trans people. I support gay, bi, lesbian people. I support drag queens and drag queen story hour. I support a woman's right to choose. I am a woke gay vegan. And I'm not quiet. So MAGA can suck it out my brown eye, because as far as I'm concerned, you know what? I'm done trying to redeem the irredeemable. There are some MAGA, about 20% of MAGA, they're not irredeemable. They made a mistake. They voted for this guy. They bought his bill of goods. Now they see that they made a mistake and that he is in fact not concerned about them, their lives, their livelihoods. Because where are these fucking $2,000 checks? Remember those? Remember the big tariff checks? Oh, I'm going to send $2,000 out. Where's that? Did we spend that invading Venezuela? Did our $2,000 end up in Caracas? There are people in MAGA who are upset that the Epstein files have not been released. Okay. So there's about 20% of MAGA that is not irredeemable. They were wrong in their vote. They see now that they were wrong in their vote, and they would no longer support him. They're still MAGA. They still have their bigoted views, but they realize they backed the wrong pony. 80% of them, however, this guy could literally shoot Marjorie Taylor Greene and they'd forgive him. And so those people, they're irredeemable. As far as I'm concerned, there should be re-education camps for them. Karel, what else are we going to do with them? They're bringing us down. They don't believe in climate change, so we can just go on and destroy the world. You know, they think that gas prices are down, egg prices are down. He's doing his job. They're crazy. They are mentally ill. Mentally ill people should be put in institutions. I am tired of acting like 80% of MAGA is not mentally ill. They think Democrats are pedophiles. Meanwhile, we have documented evidence that their guy participated in and knew about underage sex trafficking. And every time we all start to look at that evidence, he does something to distract our attention. And they're fine with that. They are irredeemably stupid. Like a stupid Canadian wolf bird. I know a few of you will get that reference. I'm going to be making heated rivalry references. I love Ilya and Shane. I adore the show. I don't care that it's a camp soap opera. It's a gay camp soap opera. And yes, MAGA, there's a #1 show on HBO with guys getting butt rammed. Hockey players, honey. So, all right. YouTube.com/reallykarel is the chat. YouTube.com/reallykarel. You can leave comments down below the video on Patreon. Patreon.com/reallykarel. Thank you all for your support on Patreon. I really appreciate it. You can send me email, contact@reallykarel.com. The number behind me on the screen, 702-850-0507. You can text. All ways to get a hold of me. Oh, Lord have mercy. All right, what's going on in the chat room? The pendulum will only swing so far before it begins to swing back. That's my hope. Well, I thought that too. For a while I thought, pendulums swing, Here's the problem with that. Sometimes they get stuck. They hang up on something. So they get stuck up in this direction. Yes, when it finally lets go, they whoosh down in the other direction. Right now, our pendulum has swung way to the right, and it's stuck. We need to chisel it out. And how do we get the pendulum unstuck? Well, first of all, we have to win the midterms. Politically, that's the only thing you should be concerned about in the next year. Winning the midterms. Democrats must take over the House and Senate. And I don't want to hear about, he's going to do something to prevent it. He's going to stop the vote, whatever. We'll deal with that when it comes. Democrats need to take over the House and Senate. The problem is, I don't like many of the Democrats that are out there right now because they're pussies. They're wusses. So they're not standing up to him. I don't like people that are not standing up to this man screaming every day. They're the ones. I shouldn't be the one screaming every day. They should be. Every day, Democrats should be on TV talking about a criminal president, acts of war crimes, Peter Hegsberth, murderer. They should be using stronger rhetoric. They should be telling the truth. They're not. So we need Democrats that are actually in your face, that are ready to tell the truth. And I don't know of that many. You know? I only see people that lie down for this guy. Oh, I'm going to invade Venezuela. Oh, sure, go ahead. Where was Congress? Oh, they're on vacation. Look, for those of you that work, or for those of you that remember work, when something really major happened at your work and you were off or you were on vacation, what happened? What happened? Your phone rang. It was your boss saying, I need you to come in. I know you're on vacation. I know it's after hours, but we have an emergency. You know, this is an emergency. So we need you back here. That's called a job. So Congress, which makes $150,000, $170,000 a year, they're out on their leave while this guy launches an illegal war. I would think that warrants a phone call. Hi, y'all. You need to come back in because we got to stop the president from invading Venezuela. I would think, I mean, maybe it's just me, but I would think that the illegal occupation, deposing of a president, and toppling of a government, I would think Congress would want to be involved in that. Not after the fact, but before. Nope. So what good are they? Why do we spend millions of dollars a day, and that's what we spend, on a useless institution like the House and Senate? Why? First of all, they should be paid the median income of their state. Whatever state they're from, whatever the median income is, that's what they should get. If they're from Tennessee, where the median income is $56,000, that should be their salary. And if they can't live on it, guess fucking what? Go on SNAP. Go on Medicare, Medicaid. Live on the very programs you vote on. Go ahead, try. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, right. These rich, fat, white fucks are so useless. I am so sick to death of Congress. They are the most useless body. Honey, they're like me when I was 310 pounds, a useless body. You know? We need to do exactly what I did and trim some fucking fat. We need congressional Ozempic. That's what we need. We need congressional Ozempic to get rid of all this fat that we are having to endure every day. We need to be given the United States shots of Ozempic every fucking week so we can get rid of all of this fat up in the Congress. Because we don't need half those bitches. They can just take their asses home. Lord have mercy. Lord! All right. That's not all I wanted to talk about today. You know, I've been the pariah on social media of late. I have. I'm a bad guy on social media of late. Now, what I'm about to play, let's change our minds, okay? Let's get out of the Donald Trump, Venezuela, Maduro. Because what can we do? Tomorrow, January 6th, we sat and watched treason take place. And we couldn't do a thing. We couldn't stop it. The National Guard didn't stop. We had to sit and watch. I am so tired. I am not going to sit and watch stuff that angers me if I can't do something about it. Okay? I can do nothing about what he's done in Venezuela. And he's going to do more. And he's doing it all for their oil. All I can do is make sure I vote for a Democratic Congress, a Democratic Senator, a Democratic House. Even though they're not doing much, they're better than the ones who are sitting there saying, oh, we have no problem with this. But I'm not, in 2026, I'm not going to sit and watch stuff that just pisses me off. You know? And I'm going to broaden the issues that I talk about. Now, you all know that I am a woke gay vegan. And as a woke gay vegan in the 70s and 80s, I had a shit ton of sex. Anonymous, in bathrooms, in parks. There were no apps to log on and find other gay men. I was 16, 17. Was it dangerous? Yes. Did my friends that continued to do it die, some from being assaulted and others from AIDS? Yes. But did I fight for all of their rights, even the rights of the people that are out there doing things like having unsafe sex in bathhouses and things? Yes, I did. Because I understood it. Because we were oppressed. And you couldn't just go out to a regular bar or to a regular nightclub or to a regular restaurant and actually meet gay people. That has all changed now. So online, on Instagram, there are now multiple accounts with hundreds of thousands of followers. And what are they promoting to their large audiences? I'm going to play a very sexual video for you. So warning, if you don't like sex, don't like to talk about sex, don't like graphic descriptions of sex, tune out. Because this is a guy online who has hundreds of thousands of followers, gets flown all around the world to have sex, of course doesn't charge for it because he's a hoe. And I called him a hoe, and I've gotten in trouble. Here's the video that I called him a hoe on, and now hundreds of people have called me old and grandpa and whatever. You tell me if I'm being petty. Here we go.
I just hold the babies of 3 down-low Arab guys in beautiful Dubai right now. And they're still a little bit stuck in my throat, which I don't mind, because when I cough, I get to taste them all over again, and I love the taste. I just hold the babies of...
That was the first guy, and you heard him correctly. He said he was in Dubai on Grindr. He's lying. Grindr is blocked in Dubai. Then he said he had literally swallowed the you-know-what of 3 down-low Arab men, but he didn't mind because when he burps it up, he likes the taste. He's not putting this on OnlyFans. He's putting this on a social media platform that the entire world can see. And he has video after video saying these things. Oh, I'm at a truck stop, and I just let 5 of them in the bathroom do me. So I said, you're a hoe. You're a whore. And more importantly, AIDS we didn't see coming. COVID we didn't see coming. Monkeypox we didn't see coming. You might think you're on PrEP or whatever and that you're being safe. You're not. If you are really having this much sex in public places, bathrooms, airport bathrooms. Here's another guy. Here's another guy who brags. Watch this. He brags about being at Home Depot and having sex. Sorry, Walmart. So he has someone film him walking to a bathroom at Walmart where he says he's going to, quote, rearrange the guts of someone's dad. Now look, I am as sex positive as the next person. But to put these kinds of videos out there to the world, what kind of stupid fuck do you have to be? And this is not what I fought for. This is not what I, as an openly gay person, took all of the years of abuse for. Did I do those things? Yes, I did. Have I had sex in a Target bathroom? Yep. Well, they were called Gemco at the time. But yes, in the 70s, early 80s, yep. Have I had sex in park bathrooms? Yes, I have. Have I had sex at rest stops? Yes, I have. Have I done that ever since AIDS started? No, I have not. Have I done that in the age of apps and Grindr and all of that? No, I have not. And more importantly, if I had, would I be making videos boasting about it and putting it on social media? You know, I get banned on social media from making comments against MAGA. I will get my comments removed or whatever for being inappropriate. Calling someone stupid, calling someone an idiot. Your comment will be removed. These people can post these kinds of videos and get hundreds of thousands of followers. I have 5,000 followers on Instagram. Those people that I just showed you have hundreds of thousands. And what are they promoting? A promiscuous, unsafe lifestyle that people already think we're predators. MAGA already thinks gay men are going in bathrooms and being predators. This guy is proving it. Kids could walk into these places where he says he's doing these things. So is it me? Am I just old? I'm being called grandpa. I'm being told to mind my own business. Although when you put something on Instagram and it comes into my feed, is it not my business? Did you not just make it my business? Am I approved? Let me see. Yeah, what happened to people being upset about just public displays of I was a member of GEMCO, of course. That guy in Dubai is cute, and I'm straight chick. Yes, he is cute. His name is Connor Bottoms. Is it possible that these guys are exaggerating or just posting for content? Who really knows what they're doing? I thought that myself. I did. But there are people who have said they have hooked up with them in bathrooms. When he's at the airport, he logs on to Grindr to see if there's anybody else at the airport that wants to go in the bathroom and have sex. Now, have I gotten sex phobic as I age? I just don't. Get a room. You know? Bathroom sex. So look, okay. I have to explain to you straight people the history of tea rooms. Tea rooms were very important in the 1800s and 1900s to the gay community. Tea rooms are bathrooms notorious for gay sex. Okay? There was a whole tea room culture. And out of that tea room culture was where a lot of gay speak came from. You would see someone outside a bathroom and say, "Are you a friend of Dorothy?" And they would say, "Well, yes." And then you'd walk into the bathroom and they would know that you were gay because you asked them, "Are they a friend of Dorothy?" So tea room culture, we could have an author on to discuss and tell you that it was important to the gay community. There were no gay bars. There was no place to meet. And gay men met, not lesbians, gay men met at public restrooms. They were called tea rooms. They were very dangerous. If you wanted to beat up a gay guy, this is where you would go. They were often frequented by non-gay men because a lot of people that have bathroom sex are not gay. But tea room culture, I am not going to down and say didn't have a place in gay culture. It did in the 18 and 1900s. We're in 2026. But more importantly, it speaks to propriety and shame. You see, I used to believe that you should have no shame about anything. I was wrong. I think you should have a little shame. And if you're out there having sex with 10 different guys a day, exchanging body fluids, you should have some shame. You should. Well, Karel, sex, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Yes, there is. If you're having it 5 times a day with 5 people whose names you don't even know and you're not getting paid. Yeah. And this speaks to the larger issue of shame and propriety. Donald Trump and MAGA have stripped away all propriety from American culture. Things that you would have never said to anybody, even if you felt them, you would have kept it in. Now they just have no problem blurting it right out. Their racism, their bigotry, their homophobia, they have no problem now just making it known. They have no shame. They have no propriety. Donald Trump has no shame. We know that he slept with Stormy Daniels. We know how many affairs he's had. We know what his dick looks like. Eck. We know he said grab them by the pussycat. There's no shame. There's no propriety. He is as bad as these guys online. And that's how we got here, to where guys feel that they can post this for content, that for clicks, and they feel they can do it without any repercussion. Well, why not? President does it. Some of the most famous people in the world have OnlyFans accounts, so why can't I do it? Does this guy, Connor Bottoms, realize that the internet is permanent? And if he ever wants to be a real person with a credible job, he won't get it? Would you hire him at a law firm? Would you hire him at a medical practice? Would you hire him in any kind of job where he has to interface with the public and those videos are out there? Would you hire these people? No. No. Although maybe nowadays people would. You know? Maybe nowadays people would. Someone in the chat room said I was under the impression that HIV is not as deadly as it used to be. Well, then you're ill-informed. Then you just don't know that thousands of people still die one person every 2 hours dies of AIDS. One person every 2 hours, or 12 people a day, die of AIDS. PrEP is not 100% effective, period, end of story. Not to mention that PrEP is a very volatile drug. These are protease inhibitors. Your liver can fall out, your kidneys can shut down. They're taking extraordinarily volatile drugs in hopes that if they come in contact with the virus, it won't take hold. It's not guaranteed. And there are other things than AIDS: gonorrhea, syphilis, chlamydia, monkeypox, COVID. And their choice? So it's okay to choose to have sex in a Walmart bathroom? That's okay? No, it's not okay. It is time for the gays to evolve. It's time for gay men to evolve. You want to be respected in society? Respect society. And I don't mean fit into every little norm and I don't mean that. But there is a certain level of respect. You want to be respected? Respect society. You want to be seen as a credible person? Then be a credible person. How many credible people that you know are out having bathroom sex at 25 years old or 30 years old? How many serious individuals that you know are out dorking in airport bathrooms? How many? There's so much shame in that. That's why they're doing it. I don't condone it. I don't approve of it. I don't like it. Have I done it? Yep. Would I do it again? Nope. There was a time and a place for everything, and the time for that has passed because we are at war. We are at war with MAGA and conservatives as a gay community. We are at war for them to just accept trans people going to the bathroom. Now they need to know what's really going on. We are at war. And when you're at war, you have to be a little better. You have to make some changes. Publicizing that you're a promiscuous hoe is not the thing to do in 2026. You want to be a promiscuous hoe? Be one on OnlyFans. Keep it off Instagram. Keep it off Twitter. Keep it off, Threads. Ugh. My. My kid's friend got diagnosed with HIV 5 years ago. I started crying, but he and my daughter assured me that he could live a normal life as long as he took his meds and did a few other things. Again, I am sorry for your friend, but that's a lie. Okay? There is no cure for AIDS. What you're describing is a cure. And no, he can't live a normal life. He's going to have to take protease inhibitors for his entire life. He's going to have T-cell counts and viral loads. He's going to have to be checked for opportunistic infections. And people on HART, heart therapy, highly active antiretroviral therapy, HART, they still die. One every 2 hours. The drugs don't always work for everybody. The virus can become immune to the drug. There is no cure for HIV. There is a long-term treatment. But people still die on that long-term treatment. And the drugs you take have major side effects. Major. So no, if you get AIDS, your life isn't just carefree where you just pop a few drugs and live a normal life. Nope. Whoever's spreading that is a drug manufacturer, because it's not true. All right. Speaking of, pop culture, look at this picture. Just look at it. So there's been a GoFundMe started for Mickey Rourke because he is $60,000 short on his rent. So they have started a GoFundMe for Mickey Rourke. I don't know how I feel about that. I really don't. I mean, where did his money go? Truly. This guy's been acting for 40 years in major movies. He doesn't just do small films. So where does money go? Why ain't he paying his rent? Did he spend it all on that surgery? Where did millions... I don't know how I feel about someone that had millions of dollars now needing a GoFundMe to pay their rent. I don't know how I feel about that. It's sad, first of all. Look at Kevin Spacey. He's over being a singer somewhere, being a nightclub singer to make money. But I don't know. How do you feel about that? Would you donate to Mickey Rourke to pay his rent? This is not a mother with 4 kids who didn't get her SNAP benefits. This is a guy that lives in a gorgeous home who has made millions of dollars in his lifetime and somehow squandered it all away. Where do we apply our pity? How much pity do we have for everybody? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. I'd love to hear it. Why help him catch up rent on a house he can't afford, first of all? It's got to be about 10 grand a month. Should he move? I mean, I guess I could take him in. Should I email him and see if he wants to be roommates? I won't charge him that much, $1,200 a month or something, He's got a little chihuahua. Ember and them can be friends. Any of you got a spare room? Maybe you could have Mickey move in with you. He's interesting chap. Might be a fun conversationalist at dinner. He could beat up your friends or your enemies, certainly. I don't know how I feel about it. Why does he have a mortgage? Why is he renting? Why doesn't he own his house? Why doesn't he own several houses? If I ever had the success that Mickey Rourke had, I'd have a lot of property, income property. Did he not invest his money? I have so many questions about this GoFundMe for Mickey Rourke. Where did his money go? And what about his co-stars? Kim Basinger, or there's plenty of rich people. Tom Cruise could write him a $5 million check today and not even feel it. There's Leonardo DiCaprio could, write him a check and not even feel it. So I'm just not sure about asking people that live check to check for money because you owe $60,000 in rent. Look at Susan Powder. Susan Powder lives here in Las Vegas. Her business manager made her go broke. She did, through no fault of her own, did she lose everything. And now there's a documentary about her and she's out doing media. She's still driving for DoorDash. She delivered to one of my friends just a few weeks ago. Susan Powder was at the door with a DoorDash here in Vegas. She's still driving for Uber Eats. Now, her, I want to see win again. I want to see her have money and win again. Mickey Rourke? I don't know how I feel about that. All right. We made it through. I don't know what happened to my file as to why the graphics didn't work. I'll figure that out today for tomorrow's show. Thank you. Without the commercial breaks, see, that's why I take them. I don't, just talking straight through for an hour without any guest or any phone calls. I wanted to switch to Riverside because there's a way for you to call the show on this Riverside. And so I don't know that I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. We'll see. We're going to try to make the show more interactive, get chats in here, and maybe even find a way for you to call the show. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that occurs. All right, so we're going to get out of here. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, live at 10 a.m. I am Karel. You be who you want to be, so I'm not hurt anybody. Thank you all for joining me today. Babetta, what did you all say about Mickey Rourke? $60K would pay my rent for 3 months. $60K would pay off my second mortgage, all of my credit card debt, and allow me to sell my home and move abroad. The only reason I don't sell my house and move abroad is I have a $50,000 second mortgage. And the amount of money that would cut into my sale doesn't leave me enough to move abroad. I'd only clear about 170 instead of 220. That's a big difference. So I have to pay off the second mortgage before I leave the country. It's one of my goals this year, to sell merchandise and to do live shows and pay off that second mortgage of $50K. And that way, when I sell the house, I'll have enough to move wherever I want to. Yeah, $60K. And what does he do after that? After they raise the $60K for his rent, he needs millions of dollars. If he's going to keep living like Mickey Rourke, he needs, a couple $1 million. I don't know. Anyway, see you all tomorrow. Thank you all for hanging in with all the technical problems. Hopefully they'll be gone tomorrow. Like I said, I am Karel.